London. London Brown. Thank you for interviewing with me here at Royal Bay Media.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes. So tell me. I wanted to know, who is London Brown?
I mean, I'm incredibly handsome. Look, okay. No, Leonard, I'm from South Central Los Angeles, and an artist who understands who God is in my life, and I just try to be an extremely focused guy. You know, I grew up right in the hood, oldest sibling. My mom went to church, stepfather, street dude. But between the balance of those two individuals, support from my family and teachers who cared and friends who cared enough to speak positivity over me, they have definitely helped shape who I am and what people come to like or appreciate about me as an artist and me as a person. So when I say I'm a regular guy, I don't say that in to like dim my light, but I mean as far as working in Hollywood and that sort of, none of that stuff means anything to me. I just want to make sure that as best I can I try to fulfill my purpose, you know, and if I can do that then and not embarrass my mother, then I'm okay.
I understand that, definitely. So I wanted to touch on, so when you were growing up, I did read somewhere that your mother tried to keep you busy or wanted you to stay busy. So I saw that you went to theater school at some point.
Yeah, you know, so because we grew up in the hood, I remember when I was like 10, my mother prayed that God would keep me so busy I would get caught up in the gang. Like we lived next door to the gang, we lived 5 houses down from another set. It's just really gang infested. And so, yeah, I started going to church plays, and my high school was a regular high school in the hood, but we had an incredible performing arts program. Our jazz band was grade number one. Our dance department was solid, and the theater department was very, very solid. Fortunately, I had some great teachers who cared about the craft and care about arts. I had a supporting principal who made sure that we had some sort of funding for the program, and that was very little. But even with the little we had some really just strong teachers that made sure that they introduced us to being professional early on in high school, and just understanding how to execute on a level that would allow us to compete out in the real world. So it was solid, man. I thank God for Fernando Pullen, Monica DeAmber, Byron Nora, Mark Swin, and peace be upon her, Marguerite Lamont. But we just had some teachers that cared. Because sometimes you go to school and all the teachers are depressed, they just want their check and they out. But our teachers just held us to a standard that allowed a lot of us to continue to go on and work professionally.
See that? Look at your success.
It's okay. It's like, it's been going okay. I've been employed, so I ain't got no complaints.
So I wanted to touch on also, so you speak about theater school. Now, how did becoming a comedian, how did that come about?
You know what? So, this is the short version, but the short version was I was in high school. My friends did say that I was funny. I wasn't a class clown though, but my friends would, they would laugh and so forth. So here's a point I haven't really said in a lot of interviews, but in my senior high school, in my senior yearbook, I remember writing actor, comedian, London Brown. So I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew that was a part of what I wanted. So after high school, I started, I was working for the Los Angeles Times newspaper, selling newspapers, and I was making people laugh on the phone so I could sell more papers. Start speaking Spanish and whatever I could do, just whatever can get done. So one of the managers said, "Yo, London, you should tell some jokes for the Christmas party." I was like, I got no jokes. He said, "Man, just do the same thing you do on the phone." So on the phone, I would do impersonations, whatever it was, and I did my little shtick for the Christmas party. From there, shout out to Paul Johnson. He said, "Hey, I got a little club. You should try out." He said, "Man, but you gotta work clean. No cursing, no, you know." I was like, "All right, well, let's do it." I go through the club in Inglewood, which is now Roscoe's. I did it there, tried it out, and I was like, okay, still not really sure what's going on. Fast forward years later, I'm now a teacher, and the principal had like a fundraiser, some comedy show fundraiser to get some raising funds for the kids. And I think I maybe asked about the comedy show. Next thing you know, they signed me up on the show. They let me do some time, and that's when I realized, like, oh, this is my voice. For a long time, I didn't feel like I was really good at anything. And I know as my friends may feel differently, but as an honest artist, I'm looking at my friend, I'm like, man, he dances super well. She sings the voice of God, and I was like, where do I fit in? And so then, after I did the comedy show, I started working open mics. One night, went to support my friend, Chris Tucker was there. Shout out to D-Ray Davis from Chicago. D-Ray said, "Hey, Chris Tucker, have you seen London?" I'm off to the side. Chris was like, "Nah, I never seen him." So D-Ray pushed me on to the stage. I stumble up there. Chris Tucker allows me to do 5 minutes. I did my 5 minutes, and then 2 months later, I got a call from him. I started touring with him, and then that's kind of been the journey. It's been one of those things. It's just a constant hustle of, because art's like unlike other fields. Like if I was gonna be a doctor, you go to school, get your master's degree. It's same thing with a lot of teachers. But with arts, there's no blueprint on this. You can have a degree or you cannot, and you just get your break. When you get your break, hopefully you're ready for the opportunity when it arrives. And so when it came to Chris Tucker, I was ready because I was in the clubs, I was sharp, and we clicked really well, and it worked out, man. God is good, it's all part of the journey. I had to set it up. I'm just being obedient to it, but I'm glad it worked out.
So I really like that. It kind of just flowed naturally. Everything kind of came back to back as it should. And sometimes people notice talent in you before you do. So you see how you were saying this person is talented. They got this talent, but you already had it. But sometimes we don't see it for ourselves.
That's a fact. I mean, the fact that we got into acting is because my theater teacher, he pushed me into it. I didn't know. I told him, I said, everybody can act. He's like, no, you should really do this. I was like 15. I just knew that I enjoyed the class, and I was excellent in class because acting just came, or performance came so natural. I was like, it just felt like fun. So, shout out to Mark Swinton. The fact that he even encouraged me to do it. Like I said, he saw the light in me before I didn't see it. I didn't know. But again, God, between my mother and her prayers, but just having the right people placed around me, because we hear all kinds of stories about how people grew up in houses where their father, their mother tell them they ain't never gonna be nothing. The teacher said, I didn't come from that. That's not my story. But he did put people around me to encourage me, to get it and stay focused. Yeah, it worked out. God is good.
That's how you got to here.
Yep.
So I wanted to bring it to, of course, raising Kanan.
Okay.
So how did that opportunity come about to get the role of Marvin? Did you have to try out for it, or you kind of?
Yeah, you know what? So I just came off his show called Bonus with Dwayne Johnson, HBO, and that's a whole other testimony itself. But so I was ageless at the time. Basically, my agent hit me with the since the show was over, hey, I think we need to part ways. No problem. My manager says, hey, don't worry, we'll find you a new agent. Let's keep working. I'll go off to go do a film. He tells me to agree, and then I go and play Boosie Collins, and I forgot the show on BT. Shout out to Robbie Reed, and And then there was a new agent. He said, we met 5 minutes, real cool energy. He said, the next time we met, he said, got this audition for you, you ought to try out. And at the time, the title said Raising Kanan. I didn't know it had any association with the Power Universe. No, I'm sorry, I think it's called, the audition was, I think it was called like Power Book 3. So I didn't know, I didn't even, and now mind you, I had never seen Power because I wanted to watch Power, but I was on Ballers. So all I knew was in the streets I would hear people watch Ballers, Game of Thrones, and Power. I was like, oh, look, I was like, man, I want to be on that show. But I was on mine, so I couldn't even watch it because I knew how dope the streets was messing with it. So I was like, all right. Anyway, I do the audition, do like 7 auditions, 2019 to January of 2020. Mess around. They say, hey, you got it. And even after I was shooting, I still didn't know I was part of the Power Universe. I didn't know until a couple episodes in. I was like, oh, this is... I didn't know nothing. I was totally oblivious. But the audition process was just... People have to understand when you audition as actors, first of all, just to get an audition, that's because you gotta have an agent who really cares to submit you to you're auditioning against hundreds of people. For that, I mean, there's so many people that submit. So just to be able to get, for them to say, yeah, we want to see him. Then after they see you, you are auditioning between hundreds of people, and it's going down to the wire. 50. Courtney, the producer, Sasha Penn, the writer, creator, showrunner, they got to see if they approve. They got to go to Starz Network and these people. So many people. So, fortunately, they like what I could bring to it. And, because, also no one, people still discovering who I am. They don't really know me. So, it's important, I'm always thankful for people who took a shot on me without no heavy resume. And they say, yo, give them a shot. Because, for me, I feel like I've been on the bench, but I've been in the gym. So I'm just waiting to get in the game. Like I already know what I can do. It's just being in the right place, being prepared, so that when people do see me, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, all right. So basically, here we are. Marvin is a very popular character. I don't know if you know this, but on TikTok, your character is like. For the promo of the show, they're showing scenes of your character for the promo of Starz.
Yes. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they're running you. So
that's nice. Well, thank y'all, Starz. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.
So what it is I've noticed, that everyone likes your character a lot because they've grown to love your character instead of instantly falling in love with the character.
Yeah.
And that's a real skill. And whoever wrote for the character is an amazing writer. You just bring that to life.
Yeah, shout out to Sasha Penn, and we got a team of writers. And what was nice about this project was it was a real collaborative idea, at least for Marvin, where, I remember like the first few seasons, the writers were able to trust me with a lot of improvising. And my suggestions, even like with the eating thing, people always talk about. The eating thing is just because, I get people all the time, man, why you always eat, man? You always eat slow down. The reason the food, snacks around the show is that it's just a theater thing, like called busy work, which is I'm trying to find ways to keep a character interesting even when he's not speaking. So you be like, what's going on with him? Because I'm on a show with, a lot of talented people. From Tina Miller, Broadway, Tony Ward, we got Haley Kilgore, we got a lot of Tony Danza and so forth. A lot of talented cats. So I just didn't want to get lost in the mix because there's so much going on, So I was like, I gotta make sure. Because I remember at the table read, table read, everybody's there, 50, everybody. So you get to hear everybody, where everybody's skills are, because we never met each other. So I was like, all right. I said, okay, I see she can act, he can, Kanan can act, Makai can act. I said, okay, I gotta establish myself early and make it happen. But to the development of Marvin, it was important to arc him in a way that made him human, but also create all these layers. That was my main thing. I just wanted to make Marvin not just one dimensional, but Marvin's the kind of guy you may cry with, you may get upset with, you may like, you may laugh, you may cheer. Like when he was going through his therapy, they were liking to see him grow. When he started rekindling his relationship with his daughter, people were like, oh man, thank you, that's what we need. And then when he did the mailman scene that people talk about, the streets is like, so it's so many of these different parts, man, where so many layers that help to make Marvin, I think, likable. And then also the fun that people see Marvin having is also the fun that I'm having. So I can't inevitably London's energy is gonna come through with Marvin because as actors we can't never totally separate ourselves. So that cool energy that people like, that's just London, really.
It's just you, but it's wrapped up in Marvin.
Yep.
I love that. And I can sense that. I know, like, parts of this is London. And
Yep.
I feel that, and that's what makes him so authentic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Authentic character. The other characters are great as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a special connection to Marvin. We watch Marvin grow into.
Yeah. That's dope. I can feel that when I run into people on the street. I can tell. Because season 1,
People didn't like Marvin.
you don't be put your hand on your jaw like that. I said, wait. I said, this ain't, But we talked about that. We was like, I was concerned. I said, man, we got to find a way to get Marvin up out of this.
Before you get slapped in the street.
Before I get slapped in the street. I had grannies and aunties put me to the side. And you need to be doing something better than this.
That's still your daughter.
I got it, but we figured it out. They figured it out. And we worked it out so that now Marvin's like super dad. That's why it's gonna be great for the audience to see this season 4, as far as when Marvin starts to pay attention to his daughter and starts to get concerned. Like, is she possibly embracing some of my traits? So Marvin now goes from being super dad to also being super protective of her, what she's becoming. Like, because now he's starting to see maybe some of his ways tap into on his daughter. So he like, yo, Jude. So so anyway, it's gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
So I already watched the first episode. Ready for the second one.
Yes.
So definitely, I wanted to wrap it up by saying, what do you have going on? Like, are you still doing comedy? Do you have anything coming up that you wanted to share?
There's always some things in the works. There's always the comedy. I mean, the acting stuff is still the auditioning and working on this, and some stuff got to come out. And then with the stand up, I'm in the clubs and just trying to work on some new material, get back on the road and start touring. And I'm doing a couple of days now here and there, or not here and there. I'm working out every week. So it's all of it. Then I'm working on some branded things and some collaborations as far as all kinds of things. So right now, I'm just trying to keep at it. I ain't done. I'm just staying focused and letting y'all enjoy the show.
And how can people find you online?
Yes, at Real London Brown, and that's using my name across everything. So, yes, thank you.
So definitely, everyone follow his journey. It's been amazing. Thank you so much, London.
Thank you, sister.